Hi, friends. I hope you're so well wherever you are in this right now moment. Sending you so much love because why not? So, I'm Jane, and I wanted to hop on here and share an answer to a question that I have been receiving. So, I will preface the answer with the little backstory. So, the little backstory is that I have been living in this one area of the city that I live in since 2002. I have watched it go from extreme. I've seen it go from extreme to not extreme. Like when I first moved into this neighborhood, there were prostitutes, drive-bys. MS-13 was like tagging the building behind mine. If you went outside at night, you had to like look out the peephole first to make sure that it was safe. It was just that type of neighborhood. Whatever. It was also like the artsy area, and it's where all the places were that I like because I like art and I like culture, and I don't like the areas that are super vanilla. So, over the years, it has continued to gentrify, and now there are massive apartment buildings, multiple stories high. There's traffic all over the place. Places that I used to walk to from my home to look at art, like local art, to have a nice glass of wine and look at art, and then go to like a little locally owned gastro pub. All those places are gone. And now they're replaced with things like Dunkin' Donuts and Dave's Chicken, which it legit looks like the chicken place on Breaking Bad. If you ever saw that, it's so weird. I don't not been there. I just see it from the outside. But anyway, that's not my point. So I have created um, a home, a community, a family here, and I have been here for many years, and I have decided to leave and explore an adventurous life that I have been calling me to do since forever. And so this is where I'm going to the answer of the question. And the question that I keep getting is like, how are you feeling? And I want to share this because I know I'm not the only one moving through what I am moving through. I'm just doing it in my way. So as we continue to evolve and ascend and hold more love in our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our hearts, just in our life in general, that means that we kind of like up level in this game of life. So I always see like Super Mario Brothers when he like hits the thing and he gets the up thing and he's like and he goes faster, or like Super Pac-Man when Pac-Man would like get the one little vitamin thing and he'd be like going faster and then they would get to the next level. So that's what I feel we're doing is we're going to the next level. And for us to go to the next level, it's almost like these chapters. So when I imagine it being like a video game, it would be like you have these four levels and they're all the above outside. And then you go to the next part and it's all underwater for like four levels. And then you go to the next one, it's all outer space for four levels or like whatever it is, right? So I feel that's where many of us are is we're moving from one section of this game of life to the next section. So imagine that we've been the Super Mario, right? And we've been above ground the whole time, but now we're doing the underwater scene. So if we're doing the underwater scene, we don't need any of the stuff that we had for the above water stuff at all. We might still want some type of clothing, but it's going to be even different clothing, right? We're going to need like breathing apparatus. We're going to need different weapons. We're going to, instead of using, instead of getting like the little, getting fire, we might get a little, we can get like a net. I don't know, like whatever. I'm making this up. But my point is that we're moving into the next scene where it's a different stage. It's a different stage of life. And this stage is actually shifting. The scene of the life that you've been living is shifting. For me, that looks like releasing all of my life, my history, my identity, and traveling and seeing more of the world, seeing and experiencing the places that have been calling me for a long time. And so, what I'm feeling, and see if this resonates for you with wherever you are in this now, I am feeling, first of all, a ton of grief. I am feeling sadness and grief as I am mourning the loss of the tangible reflections of memories that I've created. I was looking through photographs. I found photos, like real photos, right? Not in a phone. And I'm like, oh my God, that was when my friend's baby was a baby and I gave her her first haircut. And oh my God, it was so sweet. I found photos of my niece when she graduated high school with her boyfriend at the time, who's now her husband and the father to her baby. Like, oh my God, like they were such littles. I found photos of me when I was a child. And oh wow, that was fun. But the saying goodbye to the memories, it's like I am moving through this death process of myself and the life that I've lived. So, not just the identity, like when I got divorced, that was a really big identity shift. And there was a lot of grieving and a lot of like, ah, but this one's different. This is very different. So, I'm feeling grief. I am feeling so much excitement and so much curiosity. I'm so much more curious than anything. I am feeling what the feeling of surrender and allowing feels like because I'm not controlling jack shit right now. I am feeling eager. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling overwhelmed big time because as I look around, I am surrounded by a lot of paperwork. Um, and just the like, where does this go? Do I store this? Do I shred this? Do I sell this? It's a lot. It's a lot for me. It's like I'm being the administrator of my life. So it's like I've got the packing, the purging, the selling, the donating, the that. I've got the things like, oh, I still need to do laundry. I still have the things of like, oh shit, I need to go to the grocery store. I have things of like, oh yeah, there's self care too. I'd like to take a shower and do all the things. And I need so much help right now. Like, I need help. I need someone that'll say, let me just pack for you. Let me just sort through your stuff for you. Let me just sell all this stuff for you. But here's the thing, nobody can do that. And so there's that feeling. I don't even know what that feeling is. I don't even know what that is. But it's like, whoa, that's a feeling. Like I need all this support and help. And yet, like, what do I even ask for? There's nothing that anyone could help me with other than literally just sharing time, visiting, um, randomly taking things off my hands. If I'm like, hey, you want this? Um, you want to buy this? Whatever. And so I say all of that. I am feeling all of that. And the one thing that I'm noticing that I'm feeling this whole time is peace. I am feeling peace and ease during and through this whole process. I had anxiety like for 2 days, and I was like, I don't even know what that is because I don't have anxiety. I think it was like a cosmic thing because I don't have anxiety, but I've also been allowing myself to cry whenever it comes through. So meanwhile, while I'm moving through all of the like the stuff and things that I need to move through. So I've got all those emotions, right? That's the multidimensional aspect of ourselves, and we can feel multiple emotions at the same time and hold it in a safe way in peace. Like I'm not freaking out, I'm not projecting, I'm not freaking out, I'm not projecting. I'm just like, okay, it just is. Like it's fine. I'm still gonna like experience joy because because I'm gonna die at some point. I want to live through this with as much joy as possible. So that's the multidimensional human that we can be, is when we can feel all these things at the same time. Now, got that going on. Meanwhile, we are setting and creating the new stage that we're moving on. Okay, so we are not just are we the player of this game, we are the programmer of the game. So imagine this Mario game, right? You went from above ground to the underwater scene. So imagine you're clearing out this whole reality, like, oh, I get to say goodbye to the castle, by all my friends, the gardens that I planted, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I got to say goodbye to that. Meanwhile, you're also like writing the code and creating the next underwater scene for yourself, full of celebrations and challenges and opportunities for growth and new friends and all that. Like you're setting all that up for yourself. But there's another party that has no clue about that because you're still really busy here. So that's where many of us are. So there are parts of us that like we know that our future self is creating so much of this for ourselves. Like we are. We're creating it. Are we consciously creating it or are we unconsciously creating it? That's up to you. I teach people how to consciously create. That's just more fun for me because then it's like the heart, love is actually part of the guiding force that's creating your life. It's more fun for me to live in that reality too. But my point. So we have this other part of our mind, conscious and subconscious, that's creating this next stage while the emotional body is clearing. And also at the same time, the emotional body gets to emanate out the frequency that we would want us to live in. So that means if I'm here cleaning up, I don't want to feel like all sad or angry because if I'm feeling, say, joy and eagerness and curiosity, meanwhile still feeling grief and all that shit, then when I get here to this future experience, I will be holding this frequency of joy. So it's almost like every time I'm feeling joy in this now, it's like pew, 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 over here to this new reality that I'm going to be living in. It's holding the space for me in that energy field so that when I get there, it's almost like it's been primed for myself to experience that. Because I know that when I get to this place, I'm still going to be experiencing grief, but I'm also going to be in the life of like creating the new nows on the new stage. So, whatever it is you're moving through, it's a relationship shift. We're moving through a massive relationship shift. So that might mean that your role in your home has shifted, the role at work. You might be taking on a whole new career path. You might be like ending relationships with people. You might be making amends with people that you've been in relationship with before. Who knows? But it's all about relationship. Mine is my relationship to memories, my land, mine, it's the earth, but you know what I mean. The land that I've been stewarding, my home, and all of the friends that I have here in this community. And it's a lot. It is so much for a human. And I know I'm not the first one to like pack all their stuff up and just start traveling and move. Like I get that, but it's the first time for me. I know some people who've been traveling for so many years and they're just kind of like starting to anchor down and like, okay, I'm going to settle into this one space. I'm going to invest in this land. I'm going to buy this home. I'm going to commit to staying at this one location for however many nows. And for them, that's a whole new reality. It's like you've been the bird the whole time and now you're a land animal. And that's where I feel like we're moving. And so when you're moving through whatever stages and transitions you're moving through, remember that you're not alone. And there is help, support, like helping hands if you ask. And I see this readying us for the next um, iteration of reality that we get to live in. Because if I can't continue to move forward while experiencing and witnessing death, then I'm going to be stuck in my tracks with what's getting ready to come into our reality as a collective. There's going to be a lot of death. We're already starting to see it. And it's going to increase exponentially. It could be us dying, who knows? But it's either going to be me or you, right? not necessarily you, but like if anyway, my point. If we don't know how to process grief, and if we get stuck in a space of regret, like, oh my God, I should have told them how much I cared. I was an asshole to them instead. Let me beat myself up for that. Then what that does, if I live in regret and like I should have, then for me to get to this next stage, imagine that was going to be like warp speed ahead, yeah, and all of a sudden it's like hit the brakes and like let's just like get stuck. But this new is calling us forth. And that new literally could look like a new relationship, by the way, with like yourself, your higher self, God, goddess, universe, great spirit, whatever the word is for the wordless wonder. Like that right there, that relationship. So you might start to see a whole lot of people that all of a sudden they found God. They found Jesus. They've been saved. They have turned to the light of love. They have remembered that they are an aspect of the divine here as a human. And that's going to be a big change for a lot of people because I know for me, when I remembered all of that, lost a shitload of friends because they were like, whatever, weirdo. How did all of a sudden you're spiritual? You used to be an alcoholic and a drug addict like me. Yeah, so like my whole community changed. I'm okay with that. But it's all so that's a whole other level of grief. So if we let that level of grief completely stop us in our tracks, we don't continue to grow and expand in the light of love. That's what we're here to do. We're here to grow in the light of love and anchor that in and continue to co-create the next stage, the next level. And that looks like me doing my part and you doing your part. So it doesn't mean that I'm telling you how to do your part. No, that means I'm doing my part. How am I doing my part? I'm releasing what I need to release. I'm crying when I need to cry, dance when I need to dance. I get mad when I need to get mad, and I get happy when I need to get happy. And I feel all the feelings, and I don't project it, and I don't judge myself for anything that I'm feeling or experiencing, and I don't hide it or shove that shit down. Rather, I just feel it. And I remember that I am choosing all of this. I am choosing all of this. And that feels really good and liberating. Like, you know what? I am choosing all of this. I am choosing to take myself on an adventure of a lifetime. And, like, what's the worst case scenario? I love to go to the worst case scenarios. Worst case scenario always ends up the same. So, worst case scenario for me is I travel, I experience life, I see new things, I taste new foods, I see new art, I hear new music, I move my body in new ways, I feel new climates, and I might feel discomfort in all of that. Okay, so worst case scenario is that I feel uncomfortable. Well, that's where we change. We create new things when we're uncomfortable, right? When we're super comfortable, we don't change anything. We get really kind of lazy as a creator. And so worst case scenario is that I get comfortable or uncomfortable and then I just create something new. Okay. Worst case scenario is that I don't fit in somewhere. Okay, then let's go there. Like, I don't fit in this community. I don't fit in this country. They don't like me. Fuck it. Because there are tons of people that live right down the street from me that don't like me, that don't want me near them. I don't care. Okay, well, so the worst case scenario, that's not that bad. Worst case scenario is that I can't make a living. That one's come up. Like, well, what if I don't make enough money? And then I'm like, well, I've always been supported on some level and I always have something to give. So that's really not, yeah, worst case scenario is that I grow a garden. Okay. Worst case scenario is that I move back. Okay. Worst case scenario is that I get murdered in my sleep and I die. Well, I've always wanted to die in my sleep, so who cares? Either way, worst case scenario is that we're all gonna die. You know? So I see us having this like dope ass opportunity to make amends and make right with our inner child, with love, with life itself, with the earth, with each other and community, living consciously, creating together, which means that I got to create my own damn life. You got to create your own damn life and give each other so much fucking grace, because there are days when I am a mess and I've been like crying all day long. And when you ask me if I want to go to the thing and I just say no, don't get your feelings hurt, you know? And I don't allow my feelings to get hurt if someone says no, like who cares? And that's another thing I think that we're going to start having to do as a collective is starting to say no. That's going to be, it's funny how we can fight for where people need to tell us, yes, you should allow me here. If I have a penis and I call myself a woman, you should allow me wherever I tell you to allow me to be, because I'm telling you that I'm identifying as this. It's just an example. No judgment. I give zero shits. And so it's like, we'll fight for yeses. But when do we stop fighting for yeses and stand up for our no's? Like, no, I'm not going to pay for another fucking war. No, I'm not going to pay for children to be mutilated. I'm not going to pay for people to get killed. I'm not going to pay for bombs. No, I don't want to. It's not in alignment for me. It's against my religious beliefs. Like, when do we fucking stand up and just say no? And sometimes we have to fight for that no. But fighting for the no doesn't look like adding to what we're fighting. Does that make sense? Like, if I don't want to fund a war, then I can't start a fucking war. But I can stop doing my part in the war that I don't want to support, which is paying for it. And we're all paying for it. If you're paying taxes, this much goes to like children in schools and the roads and I don't know, whatever the fuck that taxes pay for. But the rest of it goes to funding murder. Doesn't matter what team you're voting for or pulling for or hating on. If you're paying for it, then you're a part of it. So then how do we stop? How do we say no? Well, my observation is we got to create something new. So that the people that are like, fuck that, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to play your Monopoly game. I'd rather play Twister. I'd much rather play Twister than Monopoly. It's so much more fun. So instead of me fighting the people that are playing Monopoly and being like, you're so wrong, you suck, why are you playing Monopoly? How about I just get my homies together and we play Twister? Same thing, except it's like on a grander scale of life. And that means that when we leave the Monopoly players, it's going to hurt. It's going to suck because some people are going to choose to keep playing that game. Some people are going to choose to stay there. And that's fine. There's no judgment. But my invitation is to thank them so much for staying exactly where they are, knowing that the door will always be open when they are ready to play with your ass and do the Twister fun game of all time. I have an idea for a Twister. I'm not going to share it right now, but it's such a good idea. If somebody could help me with that, it'd be such a fun Twister game. Anyway, but what I have found is that as I start playing this Twister game, this new stage of my life, there are others that have been doing it too. Because we're all living in a now generation. So that means people have already done this, and there are people after me that are going to look to me for inspiration. And so there are already people who are playing this Twister game that I want to play. They're not playing it exactly how I want to play it or whatever. So that's where I'm going to come in and add my own flair, my own zest. Me saying, like, let's add purple to this Twister game. And then the people being like, yeah, that feels good, join that. But they might say, no, fuck it, who cares? But it's the way I want to play this game of life. We go through this game of life once in this body. And for me, my download and vision is that if I reach a certain level, energetically, vibrationally, harmonically, heart, then I clear through all karmic ties like I don't even believe in karma anymore. It's literally not real for me anymore. I'm not paying for other things. Other people might be holding grudges against me, thinking I should be paying for this, that, or the other because I did this back then. They're going to be in that karmic loop then, not me. I have forgiven myself. I've amended it, you know. So, how am I feeling? I am feeling everything all at once. I am feeling clear as a bell and like a master alchemist. I feel like I am completely dying and I am going through my house, my home as if I were the one dead. It's almost like if you've ever um if you've ever known anybody that died and you go through their house afterward to go through their things. I'm doing that for myself. So it's like I'm alive and I'm living after this and I am dying. So it's embracing life and death at the same time. It's literally Sata Nama, birth, life, death, rebirth, all at once. And it's a lot of feeling. It's so much feelings. Oh my God. I've never felt so peacefully alive. I'll share this and then I want to hop off. But like this morning, I was um in my morning movement. So I'm doing push-ups. And I finished the push-ups and then I just started crying a lot. And then it stopped. And then I continued to do other things. And then I talked to a friend and she acknowledged that she sees me the way she sees me, which just felt really good to be seen and have it reflected back in love. And I was crying in gratitude for being seen. And then that passed. And then I go for a walk and I come home and I start going through my stuff and I start crying. And then I feel okay again. And then I had a phone call and I could feel all this, when like you're about to cry and it just kind of like gets stuck. It's like a lump in your throat. What I've learned is that's a process. Like it's the energy moving up to come out and continue alchemizing through our eyes or our voice. And so when I noticed it kept going down, it would like rise and then it would go back down and it would rise and go back down. And I was like, fuck, I can't. Mm-mm. So I turned a song on that gets me moving. And I started to dance and I started to like shake my body. And then I started to dance and shake my body and dance and shake my body. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, and it was like the big sob. And then I was like, oh, okay, I needed that. Because we're holding all this energy in our physical bodies. Like, not only is it in our energy bodies, it's in our physical bodies. So we got to move it out, y'all. So this is a great time to start lymphatic, anything lymphatic supportive. Great. Anything to do myofascially, your fascia. Take care of that shit. You know, anything you can do to sweat, great. Lifting weights, doing strength stuff, it's helping our body actually synthesize the light codes, the plasma body, so that we can actually hold this new structure as we move into the next stage. It's a fun time. I'm telling you, it's so fun. And have fun. Have fun. Have fun while you're doing all this. Like if you're crying your face off and you're like, ah, like can you just like also look at it from the perspective of, damn, I get to. Like I get to have this now moment that's like really hard and really tough and really sad or really confusing. I get to have this moment now, but I know it's not going to last forever, so I'm just going to relish it. And then next thing you know, it'll be past. Because that's how emotions are when we don't shove them away. When we acknowledge that they're there and we honor them, then they're like, we just say, okay, I'm out. I'm out. Emotions are fun like that. They're like the little kid that's like, hey, 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 hey. And then you go, what? And they go, nothing. And then they go and leave. They just want to be acknowledged. Our emotions are like just little children. They're adorable. So anyway, have fun creating the next stage. I'll keep sharing as I am called, and I appreciate you watching this. I appreciate you sharing this and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate your presence on this earth journey with me. I appreciate you feeling all your feelings, however you're feeling them, and I appreciate you creating your life without judgment and in radical acceptance and with all of the love ever. So, Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your nows, and remember how loved you are. So continue taking care of yourself and each other. Please, thank you, okay? All right, talk to you later. Okay, bye.